All right, the genius. Okay. So in this session, we'll be looking at Python interactive shell. Okay. Because sometimes, all right, you just want to do something very quickly. You want to test your code. You want to see if you just want to do a calculation and you just want to see the result right away. You don't need to write a full script and run. So that is where the Python interactive shell comes in. So it allows you to do something very fast. You do it, you see your result, and you just have to. It can help you do a whole lot without you writing a full script. Okay, so the Python interactive shell, also known as REPL. All right, REPL means read, eval, print, loop. Now, the thing is this, and whenever you open the REPL, which is the interactive shell, all right, it is expecting to read something from you. So you will type in something that is going to read. So that is the read. After you type in something, it will read it, then evaluate it for you. All right. And after evaluating it for you, it will now print it out for you to see. Then it will now wait for the next loop. So it will now wait for the next thing to read. So don't worry, I'm going to show you once we open the interactive shell, you're going to see what I mean. Okay. It reads, after reading what you have given it, it will evaluate it. After evaluating it, it will now print the result for you to see. Then it waits for another loop. It waits for another turn. Okay. Another turn. Okay. So it is an interactive environment where Python commands can be entered and executed immediately. All right. So we don't need to write in a file or in a script for it to actually we don't need to write a script for us to run something. So with the Python interactive shell or the REPL, all right, it helps you to enter and execute commands immediately. So it is useful for testing code, debugging, and quick calculations. All right. So when you're writing code, you want to test something out. Or maybe you wrote some code and you're finding it difficult. It's not giving you what you want. You can just write it on the repo and see, oh, okay, this is where I got it wrong. This is where what I need to do. So it is used for debugging code. It is used for testing code and for quick calculations. So how do you access the Python interactive shell? Let us take a look at it. Firstly, you have to open the command prompt or the terminal. All right. So when you open the command, you type in Python or Python 3. Okay. So if you're using Mac or Linux, anyone, if you're using any of these, okay, you have to type in Python 3. All right. So, but if you're using Windows, Python is just okay. So let's go and open our command prompt. Remember, just click on the window button or you click on this start button here, icon here. All right. So I will say CMD. All right. CMD will give me the command prompt. So inside the command prompt, if I want to now access the Python interactive shell, all I have to do is to just type in Python, hit enter. Look at it, it has opened. All right. So it has opened and it's telling me this. You can see there is a prompt here. This angle bracket, this three right angle bracket, okay, is saying, oh yeah, I'm ready to read. I'm ready to read. Give me something. All right. Remember, we have the REPL read, evaluate, print loop. Okay. So it's saying, okay, I'm ready for your first input. Give me something. All right. So let's give it 3 times 8. So we have given it something now. So it's going to read this thing that we have typed in here. So it's going to evaluate this expression. Don't worry, we're still going to explain more what an expression is when we talk about variables, okay? So 3 times 8 is an expression. So you want Python to actually calculate this thing and give you the result. So you have given it to it, so it is going to read it. After reading it, it will evaluate it. Once I hit enter, it will evaluate it and print it out. But it is so fast that you might not even notice that it is evaluating. So once I hit enter, it has evaluated it and it has printed it out for me. And look at it, it's waiting for another loop. You can see that cost of blinking. All right. So it's waiting for another loop. So that is read, evaluate, print, loop. So, but you have to provide it something that is going to read. So I can also say, then I can declare a variable and say name is equal to John. All right. It will evaluate this for me. All right. Then the thing is this, I created a variable. So if I just want to print out the variable, I'll just type in name and it will print it out for me. And it's waiting for another loop. Okay, so that is how to access the Python interactive shell. Just type in Python, open the command prompt, type in Python, and you can start working with it. So we also have another interactive shell we call IDLE, Integrated Development and Learning Environment. This one, that time you installed Python, it was installed with it. So all you have to do is to click on your button, on your window button, okay? Then just type in on this search where you're searching application, just type in IDLE. All right, you can see it here. My own has opened. So just click on it, it will open it for you. So you can see it's almost the same thing with the other one we are running on the command prompt. But in case you don't want to run it on command prompt, you can just use this one. I can still say 3 plus 8, it will give me 11. Do you understand? Almost the same thing I was doing on the command prompt. So you have two ways of doing it, using the IDLE or you go with the command prompt. Okay, so open the command prompt. All right, open the command prompt, which provide a graphical interactive share. And that's what we have just done. So you can just keep on typing. All right, so let's take a look at the basic usage. How do you use this repo? We use it for several things. We use it for several things. Okay. All right, so the first one we take a look at is executing Python code. Although that's what we have already done. So with the repo or the interactive Python shell, you can actually, whether you're using the IDLE or you're using the command prompt, anyone, you can actually um, execute Python code immediately. So when we say print hello Python, okay, this is a function, a built-in function in Python. It's actually is printing it out for you. So once you print it, when you write this print hello Python and hit enter, it prints it out for you. So we use the shell to run code. Now remember, in case you're using using a mobile phone, you cannot have access to this, okay? But any code at all, you can actually run it on our website, okay? So now you can say 5 plus 3, you hit enter, you get 8. So this is how you actually execute Python code on interactive shell. So let me go back to, this time around, I might just be using the IDLE. So I can say print, I will say hello Python. All right. Just type in exactly what I'm typing. All right. And I hit enter. It will print it out for me. Okay. It will print it out for me. All right. So this is how you can execute. You can also, like we have already seen, you can say 4 plus 9, it gives you 13. So this is us executing Python code right away on the interactive shell. So you can also declare variables. Okay, you can declare variables and assign to them. S equal to 10, all right? Y equals to 20. So you can now say S plus Y, that means 10 plus 20. Don't worry, we'll be talking about variables later on, okay? So for now, just follow on what we are doing. In case you don't understand much, it's okay. So here we can declare variables and we can run it. So let me go back to the IDLE. So I want to declare a variable. I can just say x is equal to 2, and I will say y is equal to 20. Then I can now say s plus y. Of course, it will give me 22. So we have declared variables and we have assigned variables. So x and y are variables. Don't worry if you don't understand what variables are. We'll have a separate chapter where we discuss variables, okay? So you can also do mathematical operations. You have seen me do 2 plus 2, 2 plus 4, and stuff like that. Okay, so you can also do this kind of things on the shell. So these are very quick things you can just run on the shell, okay? You can do division and stuff like this. You can do mathematical operations on the shell. All right. So you can also manipulate strings. Okay. I will have this name equal to Python. and we want to call this function name.upper. Now, this upper method would actually, this upper function would actually, I'm so sorry, I use method, I use function. It's just that, most of these programming languages, they all have their different terminologies. Some call functions, some call methods. So, because I am writing a lot of languages, so I use functions sometimes, I use methods sometimes, but they're all the same thing, okay? So now when you say name dot upper, all right, we are manipulating this string now and it will give us Python. So let's go back. Let's go to our shell. Now, if I have a variable called name, and the name is what? Python. So if I want to create an all uppercase of this Python, I will just say name dot upper. So this, if I call this method, all right, it would convert that whatever we have in that name into uppercase. You can see it now printed the Python. Everything is now uppercase. All right. So you can also do hello plus word. So this is called string concatenation. You can concatenate two strings. Okay. These are just some of the things you can actually do with Python interactive shell. But don't worry, we are going to be looking at this more, okay, variable strings and all these things. We're going to be taking a deeper look into it. Okay, so you can also repeat a string, all right? You use the string multiplied by 3, all right? So I don't expect you to understand this code because we have not taught you on any of this. But I want you to understand what you can do with the shell, all right? You can also do Boolean operations. Basically, you can do any operation here on the shell. Okay, you can do, I'm not going to explain this code because we have not taught you Boolean data types, right? We are also not taught you Boolean expressions. So, but just understand that these are the things you can actually do. So let's take a look at some built-in function features of the shell. Okay, the first one is how do you get help in case you need help? Maybe from documentation. Now, with this help function, you can actually get documentation. So the shell has a built-in help system. When I type in help, all right, it's going to look at what will happen. If I say help, all right, then you help parentheses and hit enter. Look at it. It says, welcome to Python help utility. If this is your first time using Python, you should definitely check out the tutorial at blah, 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 blah. So here, you can actually look for a lot of things. If I want to say, I want to get the documentation of the print function, okay? It is giving me, you might not understand what I'm doing right now because I believe you're just a beginner, but with the help method or the help function helps you to get documentation. All right. Once you have entered into this help ecosystem like this, all right, you can now type in anything. I could just say I want to get the integer data type and say more. Okay. All right. I think it's too much. I can say I want to look for true. Okay. Okay, let me clear. Control. Okay. Control L. You're not leaving help. Okay. We have left the help. So let me just clear. Okay. With the command prompt. Okay. Let's go back to the command prompt. Okay. I will just type Control L to clear everything that is here. So I can just go back and say help. All right. Then I just want to type in int. I want to get details, documentation about this int. So it is going to give me all the information I need to know about this integer data type. All right. So this is how you actually get documentation in case you forget something. In case I forget how to use the print method. All right. I could just say, okay, I just have to get out of here. If you want to get out of the help method, just type in, okay, so I'm still in it. So I'll just go on and say, I want to know more about the print method. So it's going to tell me everything. In case I forget, it's going to tell me everything. So with the help method or the help function, you actually get documentation, all right, of anything at all that you need help from in Python. So if you want to quit, all right, you can just to exit the help mode, you just type in Q and it will you exit the help mode, either Q or quit, anyone. All right. So you can also check for data types. If you want to check a particular variable's data type, yes, you might not understand exactly what we are actually doing here, but you I want to okay. So if you want to get what was I saying? Okay, so we have a variable. Let me clear this. I don't know if this keyword works here. Okay, it doesn't. Um, Control L is for, okay. All right, let me just exit and start it again. So if you want to exit, you just type in exit function like this. All right, you said your program is still running. Do you want to kill it? Yes. All right, so I can just go back with the command prompt. So I want to exit the help mode. So I have a variable. Um, I say age is equal to 98. If I want to know the data type of this age, I will just type in type like this. Inside of the type, I will put in the age variable. Don't worry, you might not understand what I'm doing here. And it will give me the type of it. We are not talking about data type. So, but in case you want to find out the data, as we go on, you want to know. You get to this level, and you want to know the data type of a particular variable. You can just come in here and type it like this. Okay. So this is how you get the data type of variables. Now, if you want to list available variables and functions, there is this particular method function that you use. Now, let's say I want to get all this might somehow sound advanced or something like that, but just try and grab, okay? If I want to get all the built-in variables and functions in this Python like this, I'll type in dir parentheses like this and hit enter. And if you watch, all right, it gave us age and name because I already have some variables I created before. So let me assume I create another variable now. I will say salary is equal to 999 like this. All right, so I have a salary variable here. So with the dir method or function is going to give you all the available functions and the variables that you have in this scope. So once I hit enter now, you can see that we now have salary. Okay, so it comes in as an array. So if I go on and say this, I might confuse you, but I'm sorry if I'm going to confuse. I want to get the first one. It gives me a notation. Okay, if I want to get the last one, let me see if this works here. It gives me salary. Okay, so but this dir function returns an array of all the variables that are available. So these are the common things you can do with the interactive share. Don't worry if you don't get all these things I'm doing here. It might be more advanced than you have to know, but don't worry. All right, just understand these features that we have here. So it will give you the built-in variables and functions. So if you want to exit the shell, all you have to do is to type exit parenthesis or quit parenthesis, and or even Control D when you're using Linux. Okay. If you're using Windows, you can use Control Z. So let's say I want to exit now. I can just click Control Z because I'm using Windows. Okay, my Z is actually not working here. So I can just say quit. You can see I have left the Python shell. All right, I have left it. So it's either you use quit or exit or Control Z for if you're using Windows. All right, what are the advanced features we can take a look at? Multi-line input. We haven't talked about this in the lexical structure of um, Python, so you might not understand all this indentation and triple quote and stuff like this. But just understand that you can do multi-line input on the shell. I won't go forward to explain this because you might not, I don't expect you to know this. So, but don't worry, we also have another chapter where we'll be talking about the lexical structure, the grammatical structure of, we'll talk about the syntax, the semantics, the indentation, the comments, and everything like that. Okay. So, but you just understand that you can do multi-line input. This is more advanced. I just brought it here so that you can also just have an idea of it. Okay. So you can use all right, this is another one. You can use the underscore to get the last output. All right, you can use the underscore to get the last output. Look at what we are doing. We are saying 5 plus 5 will give us 10. So the last output here is 10. When we now go on and say underscore times 2, that underscore is representing the last output, and the last output we have here is 10. So what do you expect we are going to get? We are going to get 20 printed out. So let me just do a little coding here. I think I have exited this guy. Let me close it. I also have this one running here. So I can just say, look at it. I will say 8 plus 9, it will give us 17. If I just type in underscore and hit enter, it will give me the last output, which is 17. So with this last output, I can work with it. I can say last output plus 7. 17 plus 7 will give me 24. So what do you think will be the last output now? The last output will be 24. So let's try it. Underscore, enter. It gave us 24. So the underscore represents the last output. So you can work with this and make use of it, okay? So you can also import modules. We haven't talked about modules yet. We'll talk about it later on. But you can import modules and use them. Here we are importing the math module. Modules are just functions that Python has created for you or other people has created for you. You can just import them and make use of them. I will not, this is the best explanation I can give you at this moment, but moreover, you don't even need to understand modules right now. I don't expect you to understand modules. We will have a separate chapter where we explain in details. So, but you can import modules, all right? You can import modules. So we have the math module, we also have the date time module, all right? So you can also execute Python script, all right? Now you can just run this code, but I think this is more advanced. I wouldn't want to take you here, but in case you want to try it yourself, just follow this line of code. Remember, if you want to run this script.py, you have to open this command prompt on that particular folder so you can have access to it, or you can provide the full path. But don't worry, this is advanced, okay? Don't get confused. So thank you very much. In the next session, we'll be seeing you and we'll be talking more about Python, okay? Thank you very much and see you in the next session.